Hey guys, I'm here with our friends Kitty Puppy Bunny, Tyler, and Dave. So before we start reading Flora and Ulysses today, I just wanted to kind of reflect on what we've been reading so far. So yesterday, Flora snuck Ulysses into her house without her mom knowing. She even, when her mom asked, "What are you doing?" Flora, do you remember what she said? She's like, "Oh, I'm talking to a squirrel." And mom didn't believe her because it sounded so outrageous. So I just wanted you to think about if there's ever anything that you've snuck into your house without your parents knowing. And did you get in trouble? What ended up happening? Because I don't know what's going to happen to Flora if mom finds Ulysses, right? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to be a part of the book. It's going to be a big deal, like when Ulysses gets found out by mom. Don't know. But I do have a story and I'm willing to share it. It's not a great story. I don't want you to do what I did, but I do really relate to Flora in this way. So I'll just share it with you. And so I was, I think, 11. I was a 6th grader. I just got into 6th grade. And you guys know that I've always loved birds. I love all kinds of birds. I really wanted to own a bird. I would be a really good bird owner. I just love birds. I love looking at them. Love birds. Love. And so I was in 6th grade, and I had a friend, and we were both like just a little bored with our lives. So we wanted, more connection with nature and creatures. And so I do not do this, but I convinced my mom to take us to the feed store, which is like for farmers. And there, I just got her to wait in the car. I just told her we were going to go look at the baby animals there because they have like baby chickens and baby ducks. And I bought 2 baby ducks in the store, and then I brought them food, and then I went outside with my friend and we put them in mom's car. She didn't see what it was. They were like, in a box in a shopping bag. And then we were driving home and everything was fine. I was turning the music up real loud. And then suddenly she was like, "Amanda, did you buy ducks?" And I was like, okay. So she found out. We were a block away from home and she found out. And it was, I got in a lot of trouble. You should know that. I got in a lot of trouble. That wasn't a good thing to do. We did have neighbors who had like a big pond, and so we just gave the baby ducks to them, and they were very kind and took care of them. But my plan was to keep the baby ducks in our house there was this old room in the house that had like this gross old bathroom, and I was just going to keep them there. Probably not a good idea. But anyway, that's how I relate to Flora, because I brought, creatures into the house without my mom's permission. I got in a lot of trouble, and my mom still tells that story today. I'm a little embarrassed telling it now, but, I just want you guys to know that, I've made mistakes too. I don't actually think that Flora's making a mistake. I mean, I think that she's really, I think Ulysses is definitely a special squirrel. The ducks I bought were not superhero ducks. They were just ducks. So I'm going to read today. But what I want you to do before I start the reading today is I want you to get a piece of paper or your journal and then write down a story where you kind of tried to sneak something. Maybe it was to school. Maybe you brought a toy to school that you shouldn't have brought. Okay, so what was that like? So did you get caught? maybe you brought something into your house that you weren't supposed to have. So what were the consequences when you broke a rule like that and when you did something sneaky? So I'd love to hear, and our little friends would love to hear your responses. We might share them on the class meeting, or you can write down below what you write in your journal. All right, so for the reading today, Chapter 12, The Forces of Evil. When Flora came back upstairs after dinner, she found Ulysses curled up in a tight little ball, sleeping on her pillow. Aww. She put out her hand and touched his forehead with one finger. His eyes twitched, but they didn't open. She picked up the pillow and moved it carefully to the foot of the bed. She changed into her pajamas, lay down, and imagined the words, "A superhero squirrel rested at her feet, and so she was not lonely at all," emblazoned on the ceiling above her. "That's exactly right," she said. Before the divorce, before her father had moved out of the house and into an apartment, he had often sat beside her at night and read aloud to her from The Illuminated Adventures of the Amazing Incandesto. It was his favorite comic. It always cheered him up to read about Alfred T. Slipper and Dolores. Her father did an excellent parakeet imitation. "Holy Bagumba," he would say in the voice of Dolores. "Holy unanticipated occurrences." Holy unanticipated occurrences was what Dolores would say when something truly unexpected and unbelievable was happening, which was basically all the time. Life was pretty exciting when you were Incandesto's parakeet. Flora sat up and looked at the sleeping squirrel. "Holy unanticipated occurrences," she said. So you guys know unanticipated means like not expected. Like right now it is unanticipated that we are not at school. Nobody expected that like a month ago. It was unanticipated. And then occurrences is like things that happen. So like if somebody asks you what occurred, that means what happened. So holy unanticipated occurrences, she said. It sounded better when her father said it. Not that he said it these days. He didn't say much of anything anymore. Her father had always been a sad, quiet man, but since the divorce he had become even sadder and quieter, which was fine with Flora, really. Cynics do a lot of chatter. You guys remember a cynic? Somebody that questions everything? That's like Flora. Besides, Alfred T. Slipper was a quiet man, too. For instance, when he was on the tour of his Incandesto manufacturing facility and had fallen into the vat of Incandesto, he hadn't said a single word, not even oops. Words had appeared above his head, however, and Flora's father had read those words to her so many times that she could recite them by heart. "He is an unassuming janitor, but he will dare to battle the darkness of the universe. Do you doubt him? Do not. Alfred T. Slipper will live to fight the forces of evil. He will become known to the world as Incandesto." Flora lay back down. If the squirrel were in a comic, she thought, what words would have appeared in the space over his head when he was sucked into a vacuum cleaner? "He is an unassuming squirrel. Yep. But he will soon conquer villains of all stripes. He will defend the defenseless and protect the weak." That sounded good, too. "He will become known to the world as Ulysses." Holy Bagumba, anything could happen. Together, she and Ulysses could change the world, or something. "Do not hope, instead observe," Flora whispered to calm herself down. "Just observe the squirrel." Then she fell asleep. Just like the stuffed animals are. Okay, guys, so we have some questions from today's reading. So I'm going to go ahead and give you those questions now. So if you notice, Flora really keeps talking about Incandesto, right? And even his parakeet, Dolores, right? She's really invested in that creature. Oh, look, Dave's foot. Okay, so Flora really is invested in them. And I want you to write down, is there any book or TV show or even a video game character that means so much to you, like Incandesto means to Flora? She sort of sees, she has a special connection with Incandesto because she loves comic books. And we just learned in this chapter her dad used to read that, right? So that's probably a really good memory she has with him, because she said he doesn't talk as much anymore. So your question is, why do you think Flora has the connection with Incandesto? And is there any character that from a book or TV show or even a made-up imaginary friend that you feel a lot of connection to in your life? So think about that and then write those down, and then we'll share on our class meeting. Okay, but I do need you to write it down on paper. Okay, and then the other question, it's more for our older students, okay? But if you think you know the answer, I would love to hear your answer. Even if you think you might get it wrong, that'd be great to hear your answer. The other question is what do you think she means when she says things like, do not hope, instead observe? Just observe the squirrel. So what does that mean? Why do you remember why she was saying that hoping, we shouldn't hope, we should just observe? Okay, so let me know if you need any help with those. So just respond on the Google Classroom, okay, and I can explain a little more. All right, have fun, and I'm excited to hear your responses.